Esteemed seekers of truth and masters of imagination, I stand before you today to impart a wisdom so profound, so transformative, that it has the power to reshape your entire existence. This truth, this fundamental law of being, is both simple and revolutionary. Act as if you are disciplined, for in this act, in this assumption of the state of discipline, lies the key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within each and every one of you. Now, you may ask, why discipline? Why not wealth, love, or success? To this, I say, dear audience, that discipline is the foundation upon which all other desires are built. It is the bedrock of achievement, the cornerstone of greatness. For what is discipline if not the unwavering commitment to your deepest desires, the steadfast adherence to the vision of your ideal self? Let us delve deeper into this concept, for it is not merely about forcing yourself to adhere to rigid rules or submitting to external authority. No, the discipline I speak of is a state of being, a way of existing in perfect harmony with your truest self. It is the discipline of the imagination, the discipline of assumption, the discipline of living from the end. Imagine, if you will, the most disciplined version of yourself. See this version clearly in your mind's eye. How does this discipline you move through the world? How does this discipline you speak, think, and act? Feel the confidence that radiates from every pore of your being. Experience the unwavering focus, the resolute determination that characterizes your every action. This, my dear audience, is the state you must assume. This is the reality you must accept as true, here and now, in this very moment. For remember, imagination creates reality. What you assume to be true, what you feel to be real, must inevitably manifest in your outer world. But, you might protest, I have tried to be disciplined before. I have made resolutions and set goals, only to falter and fail. To this, I say, you have been putting the cart before the horse. You have been trying to act disciplined in order to become disciplined. But I tell you now, you must first assume the state of being disciplined, and then the actions will naturally follow. Consider for a moment the words of the psalmist, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. What power, what divinity lies within these words? You are not mere mortals struggling against the tide of circumstance. You are gods, creators of your own reality. And as gods, you have the power to assume any state you desire. So I ask you now, can you dare to assume the state of perfect discipline? Can you, in this very moment, accept as an absolute fact that you are the most disciplined version of yourself? For if you can live from this assumption, if you can feel the reality of it in every fiber of your being, then you have already succeeded. The outer world has no choice but to conform to this inner conviction. Let me share with you a technique, a method by which you can enter into this state of discipline. As you retire to sleep tonight, close your eyes and construct a scene that implies you are now the embodiment of discipline. Perhaps you see yourself effortlessly completing tasks that once seemed daunting, or maybe you hear the voice of a friend congratulating you on your remarkable self-control and dedication. Whatever scene you choose, make it as vivid and as real as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the sense of accomplishment, the pride, the sheer joy of being this disciplined version of yourself. And as you drift off to sleep, carry this feeling with you, for in sleep, when your conscious mind is at rest, your subconscious is most receptive to these impressions. But do not stop there, my friends. Throughout your waking hours, persist in this assumption. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, how would the discipline me handle this situation, and then act from that state. For remember, it is not about forcing yourself to be disciplined, it is about knowing with absolute certainty that you are already disciplined. Now, some of you may be thinking, but what about my current habits? What about my past failures? To this, I say, let them go. They are nothing more than shadows, illusions of a former state. They have no power over you unless you give them power through your attention and belief. In the Bible, we read, remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. This is not merely poetic language, my friends. It is a profound spiritual instruction. Your past does not determine your future. Your current circumstances do not dictate your potential. Only your imagination, only your assumption of the state you desire, has the power to shape your reality. So I urge you, cease identifying with the undisciplined version of yourself. Stop telling the story of your failures and shortcomings, for every time you do, you are reaffirming that old state, breathing life into a version of yourself that you wish to transcend. Instead, tell a new story. Live a new assumption. Be the disciplined you in your imagination, and watch as the outer world reshapes itself to match this inner conviction. Now, let us address a common misconception. Many believe that discipline is about deprivation, about denying oneself pleasure in pursuit of some distant goal. But I tell you, true discipline is the highest form of self-love. It is the recognition of your own divine nature, the honoring of your deepest desires. When you assume the state of discipline, you are not forcing yourself to do what you do not want to do. Rather, you are aligning yourself with your truest wishes, your highest aspirations. You are saying to the universe, I am worthy of my dreams. I am capable of greatness. I am the master of my fate. Consider for a moment the things you would do, the person you would be, if you were truly disciplined. Would you not treat your body with respect, nourishing it with healthy foods and invigorating it with regular exercise? Would you not cultivate your mind, feeding it with knowledge and challenging it with new ideas? Would you not pursue your goals with unwavering determination, undeterred by temporary setbacks or fleeting distractions? This, my friends, is the life that awaits you when you assume the state of discipline. It is not a life of restriction, but one of freedom, freedom from the tyranny of impulse, freedom from the chains of procrastination, freedom to become the highest version of yourself. But remember, this transformation does not happen through force of will alone. It happens through the power of assumption, through the alchemy of imagination. You must feel the reality of your disciplined self so intensely, so vividly, that it becomes impossible to act in any other way. Let me share with you a personal experience to illustrate this point. Years ago, I struggled with the discipline of public speaking. The thought of addressing a large audience filled me with dread. But instead of forcing myself to endure this fear, I chose to assume the state of a confident, articulate speaker. Each night as I lay in bed, I would imagine myself standing before a rapt audience, words flowing effortlessly from my lips. I felt the confidence coursing through my veins, heard the applause ringing in my ears. I lived from this assumption day and night, until it became more real to me than my former state of fear. And lo and behold, when the opportunity to speak publicly next arose, I found myself stepping onto the stage with ease and grace. The words came naturally, the fear had vanished, not because I had forced myself to be brave, but because I had assumed a new state of being. I had become, in my imagination, the confident speaker I wished to be. This, my dear audience, is the power that lies within you, the power to reshape your reality through the assumption of the state you desire. And today, we are focusing on the state of discipline, for in discipline lies the key to all other achievements. Think of discipline as the foundation upon which you build the temple of your dreams. Without this foundation, without this unwavering commitment to your vision, even the grandest aspirations will crumble. But with discipline as your bedrock, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Now, some of you may be wondering, how long must I persist in this assumption before I see results? To this, I say, do not concern yourself with time. Time is but an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of imagination, in the world of the spirit, all things exist now. Your disciplined self is not some future version of you, it exists now, in this very moment, as a state of consciousness that you can enter at will. The outer world may take time to reflect this inner change, but that is of no consequence. Your task is simply to persist in the assumption, to live from the end, to be in imagination what you wish to be in reality. Remember the words of Scripture, therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. This is not a promise of future fulfillment, it is a statement of present fact. Believe that you receive now, and you shall have. Assume the state of discipline now, and disciplined you shall be. But let us delve deeper into the nature of this assumption. It is not enough to merely affirm, I am disciplined. Words alone, without feeling, without the conviction of reality, are empty. You must feel the truth of your assumption. You must experience, in your imagination, the satisfaction of being disciplined. When you wake in the morning, before you open your eyes to the physical world, spend a few moments living as your disciplined self. Feel the energy coursing through your veins, the clarity of purpose that guides your actions. Experience the pride of completing tasks with ease, the joy of making choices aligned with your highest good. As you move through your day, carry this feeling with you. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, what would my disciplined self do? And then act from that state, not from a place of struggle or effort, but from a place of knowing. For discipline, when assumed as a state of being, becomes effortless. Consider the example of a great athlete. When performing at their peak, they do not consciously think about every movement. They enter a state of flow, a state where discipline is not an external force, but an integral part of their being. This is the state you must assume. But what of those moments when you falter, when you find yourself slipping back into old patterns? Do not despair, my friends. Do not judge yourself harshly, for even these moments are opportunities to strengthen your assumption. When you notice yourself acting in a way that does not align with your assumed state of discipline, simply say to yourself, "Isn't it wonderful that I noticed this? This awareness is proof of my growing discipline." Then gently but firmly return to your assumption. For remember, what you resist persists, but what you accept and transcend loses its power over you. Let us now explore another aspect of this assumption of discipline. It is not merely about doing or not doing certain things. It is about embodying a new state of consciousness. It is about seeing the world through new eyes, responding to life from a place of mastery rather than reactivity. Imagine for a moment that you are an actor stepping into the role of the most disciplined person you can conceive. How would this character walk? How would they speak? How would they respond to challenges? How would they celebrate victories? Immerse yourself fully in this role, for in truth, this is not mere acting. It is the awakening of your true self. As you persist in this assumption, you will begin to notice changes in your outer world. Tasks that once seemed daunting will become manageable. Habits that once controlled you will lose their grip. You will find yourself naturally drawn to actions and choices that support your highest good. But do not become attached to these outer changes. Do not use them as a measure of your success, for the true transformation is happening within. The outer world is merely catching up to the new state you have assumed in your imagination. Remember, my dear audience, that discipline is not an end in itself. It is a means to an end, and that end is the full expression of your divine nature, the complete realization of your dreams and desires. Discipline is the channel through which your infinite potential flows into manifestation. So I ask you now, what would you do with this discipline? What dreams would you pursue? What gifts would you share with the world? For in assuming the state of discipline, you are claiming your power as a creative being. You are declaring to the universe, "I am ready to become all that I am meant to be." Perhaps you have a book within you waiting to be written, or a business idea that could transform lives. Maybe you dream of mastering a new skill, or healing a relationship, or improving your health. Whatever your heart's desire, know that discipline is the key that unlocks the door to its fulfillment. But remember, you do not need to force this discipline into being. You do not need to struggle or strive. You need only to assume the state of being disciplined, to know with unwavering certainty that you are now the embodiment of discipline. For what you assume, you become. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a powerful technique for reinforcing this assumption. Tonight, as you lay in bed, review your day from the perspective of your disciplined self. See yourself making wise choices, completing tasks with ease, responding to challenges with calm determination. But do not stop at reviewing the day that has passed. Go further. Imagine tomorrow, the day after, the weeks and months to come. See yourself living as this disciplined version of you. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of purpose that permeates every moment. As you drift off to sleep, carry this vision with you, for in sleep, your subconscious mind is most receptive. It will take this seed of assumption and nurture it, allowing it to grow and flourish in the fertile soil of your imagination. And when you wake in the morning, before you engage with the outer world, take a moment to reaffirm this state. feel yourself as the disciplined being you have imagined. Know with every fiber of your being that this is who you truly are. For you see, my dear audience, discipline is not something you do. It is something you are. It is a state of being, a way of existing in the world. And by assuming this state, by living from this assumption, you set in motion forces beyond your current comprehension. The universe itself will conspire to support your new state of being. Opportunities will arise, resources will appear, synchronicities will unfold. For when you assume the state of discipline, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe. You become a channel for the divine will to express itself through you. But remember, this assumption is not a one-time event. It is a continuous choice, a moment-by-moment dedication to living from your highest self. Each time you reaffirm this state, each time you choose to act from this assumption, you strengthen its reality in your life. So I challenge you, my friends, to make this assumption your constant companion. Let it be the lens through which you view the world, the foundation upon which you build your life. For in doing so, you claim your birthright as a divine creator, as a being of infinite potential. Imagine the life that awaits you when discipline becomes your natural state of being. Imagine the goals you will achieve, the dreams you will realize, the impact you will have on the world around you. This is not mere fantasy. This is the reality that is yours to claim. For in truth, you are already this disciplined being. You are already the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. You need only to awaken to this truth, to assume this state with unwavering conviction. So go forth, my dear audience, and live from this assumption. Be the disciplined being you have imagined. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life but become a beacon of inspiration for others. You become living proof of the power that resides within each of us. Remember, the world is your mirror, reflecting back to you your deepest assumptions about yourself and life. As you assume the state of discipline, watch as the world recreates itself to match this inner conviction. Watch as doors open, as mountains move, as the impossible becomes possible. But above all, remember that this journey is not about reaching some final destination. It is about who you become along the way. It is about the unfolding of your divine nature, the expression of your higher self. So embrace this assumption of discipline with joy, with love, with unwavering faith. For in doing so, you embrace your true self. You claim your power as a divine creator. You step into the fullness of who you truly are. And so, my dear audience, I leave you with this final thought: the disciplined you is not some distant ideal to be strived for. It is who you are, here and now, in this very moment. Assume this truth. Live from this knowing. And watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. For remember, imagination creates reality, and you have imagined yourself as the embodiment of discipline. Now go forth and live it. Be it. For in being it, you make it real. Thank you, my friends. May your assumption of discipline lead you to the fulfillment of your grandest dreams and the realization of your divine nature. For you are gods, creators of your own reality, and the power to reshape your world lies within you, waiting to be claimed through the magical act of assumption. Go now and be the disciplined being you have imagined, for in this assumption lies the key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within you. The world awaits your disciplined self. It is time to answer the call.